So happy International Women's Day. I'm going to start this off positive because the subject matter is not so positive. So today I really wanted to talk about a question that one of the professionals asked me. And they asked, do you feel shame or guilt regarding any of the incidences that you've been through? And I said, well, of course. And their face looked at me like I was like crossed. Like, what are you thinking? Why would you feel shame or guilt? And I think I just haven't dealt with it, so I guess maybe that's why. But right away, all of these things rushed through my head. So, like the work accident, that wasn't supposed to be my shift. That was actually somebody else's shift that I took because they were sick. So I was like, it was my choice to be there that day. It was like my first defense. And then I was like, well, of course, because, I went in that room willingly and I knew the risks involved in my job. So, like, I feel guilty even though I am the victim. Did I give him a look? Did I walk a certain way? Those are like the questions I go through. What did I do to make him do this to me? Even though that's a really unhealthy thought process, it's how I feel. Like the day I was set up on a blind date, ended up being assaulted. I was like, well, it was my choice to go on that blind date. It was my choice to drink that raspberry flavored vodka that night. It was my choice to go with the encouragement of that man that was like, have another drink, have another drink. And I'm drinking this like straight vodka. Like, what was I thinking? I put myself in that situation where I could be harmed. I chose to drink to a point where I didn't have full control over my consent. And, everybody I say this to, they're like, what are you talking about? How could you feel guilty or shameful? I'm shameful because I let myself be in that situation, is how I think. And I think when you get to the point where you measure your worth through the eyes of the people that defiled you, then that's why you feel this way. And that's and it's so hard. Like, I measure my worth through the eyes of the people that made my life the way it is now. And I shouldn't. I should measure my worth on what I bring to this planet, what I bring to this world. And I just can't see it that way because I don't feel worth it. I feel like I'm like in the negative worth. I think like the day on the bus when I was at my sister's wedding, somehow me offering that guy a bite of my KFC sandwich provided him with consent to go up my dress. And I'm like, oh, it was my fault for offering him that part of that sandwich. Maybe that somehow gave him the idea that I wanted more or something. And I was like, wait, let's go back to health class. When did offering a KFC sandwich to somebody say, yes, go up my dress? Wait, never. Okay, wait, I wasn't in the consent. No way did KFC somehow give somebody consent. But in his eyes, he was like, oh my God, that girl wants some. Because she let me have a bite of her KFC sandwich. And, I remember getting off that bus and being like, Corey, can you just hold me? Because if you don't, I'm going to walk into traffic. And in the Bahamas or in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, like, you walk into traffic, you're dead. They're not looking out for you. So yeah, I do feel shame and I do feel guilt because I feel that I put myself in those situations. That if I wouldn't have drank in that much, or if I wouldn't have agreed to that date, or if I wouldn't have taken that shift, or maybe I looked at him in a certain way that he was like, okay, I'm gonna attack this bitch. Like, this girl looks like my dinner today, or my breakfast, because he attacked me at 10:14 a.m. And then not only did they ask me if I feel shame and guilt, which I 100% do. I feel like I put myself in those situations, even though I couldn't have known the outcome. I still agreed to be there. Even though there was points where I couldn't get away and I had no choice in being there, I felt like, why couldn't you fight harder? Why are you in shock? Why aren't you calling the police? Like, over when I was being assessed by the secondary party, she was like, so just so you know, there's no statute of limitations. You can still press charges, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's the last thing I want to do right now. I can barely keep myself together. I'm not going to go press charges on somebody. Like, I just hope that karma gets them, because the work assault, the sexual assault when I was 18, the second sexual assault when I was 18, and then a month after those two, the guy downtown decided I was giving him funny looks. What did I do the day should I have been at that bus stop? Maybe I shouldn't have gone to that Halloween party, and I wouldn't have been at that bus stop that day. To allow him, like, what did my forehead say? I'm not sure. But I still blame myself, and I know that's unhealthy. So all those girls out there that blame themselves, try not to. Because I need to stop seeing my worth through the eyes of the devil, through the eyes of the people that defiled me. I need to see that the fire burning in the back of those evil souls can't define my future. And right now it is. Right now I'm letting the actions that they did to me, I'm letting them change my future. I'm letting them change my goals, change my aspirations and my motivations. And I can't. So International Women's Day, if we can all stick together and give a little help to a friend, and hopefully the shame and guilt that I feel will be alleviated one day. Hopefully one day I won't say, it was your choice to drink that alcohol. It was your choice to take that shift, Lindsay. Hopefully one day I'm able to see it as what it is, that I was a victim. Even though right now I feel like I had just as much control as the perpetrators did. Even if they outstrengthed me, I should have been able to do more. And I know that's not right, but that's how I feel.